Welcome back to On Texas Basketball. I'm Jeff Howe, joined by Gerry Hamilton. The Longhorns are on a little roll. Jerry, we'll talk about it before today's game against Texas A&M. Texas with back-to-back wins, a road win over then number 13 Alabama, come back at home. Jerry, probably their best performance of the season, an 80-64 win over previously unbeaten Vanderbilt. That's back-to-back wins in consecutive games over AP top 13 teams. Texas has not done that since the Elite Eight year, the 22-23 season, with back-to-back wins against Baylor and Kansas State. Jerry, I just want to go back to the Alabama game and coming off of really what was probably the low point this season for this program, coming off of the Mississippi State game where they were up late, lost the lead, ended up losing the game in overtime. They basically don't show up in Knoxville against Tennessee, but you come back on the road against the Nate Oates coach team and beat Alabama in their place. Jerry, I know it's taken a while. I know Sean Miller's been frustrated with this team at times. It's taken a while for some stuff to sink in. It finally seems like he's got his guys on the same page with his message.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, he challenged these guys in every single way leading up to that Alabama game. Heck, even in shoot around before the Alabama game. And he's pushed every button he can. And the Alabama game was huge because that gave him a proof of concept win. After pushing and totally tearing down this team and starting to build back up, he has that proof of concept win. And those guys in that locker room, instead of wondering, man, is this going to work, or don't necessarily believe, and now they believe because you win at Alabama. And I don't care if Alabama's not quite as good this year as they have been the last 2 or 3 years. That's still a road win at Alabama. That crowd was wild. Texas went in there and made 10 threes. They out-rebounded Alabama by 10. All the things that Sean Miller had been telling this team could happen for them if they locked in on both ends of the court and listened to him happened. And then you follow that up with the Vanderbilt game, which obviously was the best game Texas has played. Even Mark Bidington, the Vanderbilt coach, said, look, he said in the postgame, we didn't even play that bad. Texas just played really well. Mm-hmm. He just said, hey, we didn't make any shots in the second half, really. We missed some we normally make. But he said, we didn't play bad. Texas just played really well. And you could tell Sean Miller was happy after that game. And it's proof of concept now. And now these kids fully believe when they go on the practice field, practice court, every day, that they 100% believe in what Sean Miller's message he was trying to get across for the majority of the season, through the struggles, through a couple of highs in there, the win over NC State. And they played well in some tough losses too at times, but he now has proof of concept. And when you get that proof of concept and you turn that corner, that's when all those players believe in your message. And now he's got a chance the rest of the season.
Jerry, a couple of guys I want to talk about really quick. One is Modest Wilkatitis. And, Modest he struggled at times against higher level competition, but it seems like these last couple of games, the Alabama game kind of set him up for Vanderbilt, where he's playing through contact better now. He's more than willing to mix it up on the interior. He's not afraid to go to the foul line. The growth from him, Jerry, these last few games has been really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's turning into a pro prospect before our eyes, right? I mean, he had a solid first year. His foul rate's still too high, but he's such an aggressive player. But that foul rate's kind of his next piece to his game. But you said it, Jeff. I mean, he's up to 69% from the free throw line. I mean, he was 8-9 against Vanderbilt. He's building confidence. He's 15 points. 0.2 points his first year in the SEC. That dog will hunt. 6.3 rebounds, about a block a game. Only 1.9 turnovers per game as well for a center, for a low block player. When you get monster doubles crashing on you, only 1.9 turnovers. So he has done well there, and he handles the ball at the top of the key in the offense as well. So he's not always in a position that he can secure a basketball and know where a double's coming from. So his game's really taken off, and that's in 23.7 minutes a game. It's not like he's playing 28, 29 minutes like Dalen Swain, Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, and some of those other guys. So his production per minute for a center in college basketball is really high.
Jerry, you mentioned Tremont Mark, and he's the other guy that I wanted to talk about. I'm not expecting him to continue this tear, but through 4 SEC games, he's averaging almost 20 a game. He's at 19.8. You look at the shooting percentages, it's way up from where he was last season. We know he's dealt with injuries. He had the shoulder cleanup, the labrum repair coming off of last season. And Sean Miller even talked about it after the game. Look, I think everybody kind of underestimated the conditioning aspect of him coming back, how much time he had missed. But it seems, Jerry, right now when this team needs their veteran guards to step up and be big in conference play, seems like he's really starting to hit his stride.
Yeah, he is. And I think Sean spoke to something very important after that Vanderbilt game about his conditioning, right? But basketball, these guys are supremely conditioned athletes. This is a fast, and think about Texas averaging 86 points a game. This league is super fast paced right now in the SEC. So you have to be in supreme condition. Well, he missed all the summer. Shooting in a chair is not supreme condition, right? And coming back off of injury. So he went into that Duke game. He went into the season not in as good a condition as some of his teammates and guys he was playing against. It just wasn't possible. He hadn't had enough time. But look, one thing I'll say about Tremont Mark as a scorer, Jeff, we've seen him do this before in the SEC. In 2023-24, he averaged 16.2 points in the SEC. And he was the go-to guy on that team, which had some internal issues. But heck, he converted 48% from the field, 36.5% from three, and 80% from the free throw line. Also had 4.3 rebounds a game in 23-24. He's put it on the board in the SEC before. He has confidence in these games. I think his confidence in is continuing to grow with the team around him. I think the biggest thing for Tremont Mark is locking in defensively, sinking and playing in your hips on defense. And he has been playing some of the best defense he's played at Texas right now.
Jerry, you look at where Texas is after these 2 wins. Again, the road win over Alabama, coming back home, a previously unbeaten Vanderbilt team getting that win. Whether you're looking at the net, you're looking at Ken Palm, you're looking at Bart Torvik, they're basically a top 40 team, Jerry. Now, the net hasn't updated since the Vanderbilt game, but Texas now 4-4 in quad one games. They've got 4 quad one wins, another quad one opportunity coming up today against Texas A&M. Jerry, I know the Arizona State loss really hurt. The Mississippi State loss hurt, but they've got a chance now. If they can get a win over the Aggies today, and even if they don't, Jerry, they put themselves in a position where they can make a run at making the field of 68.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, look, I think this is a huge game today. If you can get to 3-2 in SEC play, and you look at the schedule that's after that until February 7th, Texas has a chance to creep up there towards 6, maybe even 7 wins in SEC play. I mean, that if they win this game today, I think they have a real opportunity to go on a little run. And I'm not talking about an unbeaten run in the SEC. There aren't many of those, right? And Texas isn't that level team. But if you get A&M today, then you go to Kentucky. Kentucky has injury issues, haven't played well this year. Then you get Georgia at home. Then you go to Auburn, who hasn't played nearly as well this year. At Oklahoma, struggling. South Carolina, maybe the bottom 3 team in the SEC. And Chris Beard's Ole Miss team, who is 10-7, but very susceptible, has not played well this season either. So if you get this A&M game, you can look up on February 8th and say, wow, we have 7 SEC wins potentially, at least 6 with 7 games to go. 9-9 is the magic number. That's why I think this A&M game is so big today. If you get to 3-2 through 5 and you got 11 games left, man, all you got to go is 6-5 to get in the tournament. I think 9-9, you're 100% in the field. You're going to be in the 64. You're not going to have to play in the 68 game, the round of 68 game. If you finish 8-10 in the SEC and have enough quad 1, quad 2 wins, I think you can get in, but you'd be a play-in game essentially. So this game today is huge for Texas. By the way, if they win this, they're going to jump up into probably 33, 32, depending on who else wins and loses in net, in Ken Palm, in Bart Torvik T rank. So these last 2 games have given Sean Miller as proof of concept, and they've given this team, when they're in the locker room, when they're all together talking, saying, "Hey guys, we got a chance to get in this tournament. But if we can go out and continue to play the level we have a chance to have a real postseason and not the NIT postseason."
Jerry, real quick, Bo Ogden going to make the rideshare trip over from West Austin for the game today. Yeah. Joe Sterling also going to be in town. Jerry, anything else from a recruiting standpoint?
No, I mean, look, staff's been out on the road a little bit. I think Ryan Anderson, one of the assistants, went out to see Joe Sterling. Joe Sterling's having a tremendous year out at Harvard Westlake. I mean, he is shooting 45-ish from three, which shouldn't surprise anybody, but his all-around game's gotten better. There's a lot of college coaches out on the West Coast. I think Texas is going to end up getting a steal out of Joe Sterling. I'm not saying impact player year one, game one, but that kid can really shoot it, and he's got a little bit more to his game than that. Bo Ogden's having a really good year. Austin Gooseby is starting to play extremely high-level basketball for Jermaine O'Neal, dynamic prep. He had the injury right before the season, leading into the season. He missed some time working out, but he is playing at a very high level. And right now, look what Texas is looking at. I mean, this is where we've been in portal mode in football. Well, basketball's they're already in portal mode too, not recruiting players, but just getting a feel for what could happen in the portal, who are some of the guys, who's looking good, some young players, who's some guys in mid-major ranks that look really good that could be looking to move up. So there's a lot going on there as well. But Texas will have at least Bo Ogden and Joe Sterling in the house. I don't know if they're going to have any 2027s today. They've had some of the other games. But this Texas team is starting to build a little momentum. And those two wins, I would say this, those two wins, Jeff, it's not a end-all be-all in recruiting, but those are noticeable for kids.
For sure.
I mean, they're noticeable wins because when people had tuned in to watch Texas, they might have saw a struggling into an Arizona State game, right? Most people tuned into Duke, and that's Sean Miller's first game at Texas, and they were out overmatched in that game. So you're starting to see some proof of concept wins that also matter in recruiting a little bit.
Jerry, when you look at the SEC, you look up and down this league, and some really good coaches. Mark Pope at Kentucky, Chris Beard at Ole Miss. I really think Porter Moser at Oklahoma is a really good coach. Some really good coaches, Jerry, having tough years, which I think speaks to the volatility in college basketball year to year. But aside from that, I hope that what Texas fans have picked up during these two wins is that you've got a hell of a basketball coach,
yes,
Sean Miller, who understands how to construct a roster right now, can get the most out of his team. Jerry, there should be plenty of reason for Texas fans to be excited about where this men's basketball program's headed.
I mean, look, this is what I've said about Sean Murray the whole way. Or is anybody really betting on a guy that's had 3 head coaching jobs, Arizona Xavier, and he's been to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 in all of them? I'm not betting against that guy. And if you watch how he's evolved as a coach, I mean, Texas is averaging 87.3 points per game. I mean, Sean Miller used to try to win games in the high 60, low 70 at Arizona, right? Some of those heartbreaking Elite 8 losses were 67, 66, 68, 65. He has evolved as a coach. I mean, they're 87.3 points per game. He is playing a fun style of basketball, and you can see his team getting better. You just saw him break down a team and starting to build them back up. What the end result of that's going to be, we don't know yet. But what we have seen is this guy took a team in year one, didn't have time to really know many of these guys' personalities. He brought it all together. There were some really rough patches, and that doesn't mean there won't be rough patches later in the season, but he broke them down, and he's built them out pretty quickly with these last 2 wins to where they're again are starting to build confidence. But look, in the 4 SEC games, and this is a fast league now, you have to be a good offensive coach, have a good offensive system. Texas has scored 98, then has 71 against Tennessee, 92 at Bama, and 80 against Vanderbilt. I mean, they're averaging well over 80 points a game in SEC play. And they're doing that without even being a great 3-point shooting team. So that's when you know you're really good at creating offense as a coach, when you're averaging 87 points per game and you're not a great perimeter shooting team from 3. They're 34.9%. So there's a lot of positives with Sean Miller. But I'll always leave threads, Jeff, and you know this in videos like this, by saying NCAA tournament is not guaranteed for first-year head coaches in the portal. I'm going to keep saying this to keep people's expectations realistic, even though we're seeing Sean Miller's doing a great job. Here's some coaches that did not make the NCAA tournament their first year in the portal era: Danny Hurley, Todd Golden, Chris Beard at Ole Miss, Rick Pitino at St. John's, Brad Underwood at Illinois, Nate Oates at Alabama, Mick Cronin at UCLA. You can go on. This is not guaranteed if you actually want to build your program the right way. So my whole hope for this season, Jeff, and I don't know about you, had been to fight, scratch, and claw to see if you can get in the NCAA tournament year one while you're building the foundation of a program.
I love that they've given themselves a chance. And for me personally, I never thought I'd live to see the day that I looked at Ken Palm and saw that Texas, Jerry, this isn't a typo. I had to look at this several times. They're 13th nationally. Texas is a top 15 team in adjusted offensive efficiency.
Yes.
Some of those Rick Barnes Shaka Smart years where you're in the triple digits routinely. Never thought I'd live to see the day Texas was a top 15 team in adjusted offensive efficiency.
Yep, and wait until he starts. He's going to get better shooters, some better playmakers in. I mean, Bo Ogden can shoot the basketball. Austin Gooseby, a tremendous player that will play in the NBA one day. It's only going to go up from here in year one under Sean Miller.
All right, Jerry, thanks for the knowledge and expertise as always. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes for producing it. If you're not a member over at ontexasfootball.com, you've still got time to take advantage of our Portal Madness special. Your first month of access at ontexasfootball.com for just $1. Plenty of basketball conversation over there. Baseball's right around the corner. Obviously talking football all the time. And any transfer portal information we get, we drop it first over at ontexasfootball.com. And again, first-time subscribers, your first month of access at ontexasfootball.com for just $1 right now with our Portal Madness special. For Jerry, for Matthew, for the entire On Texas Football staff, I'm Jeff Howe. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And until next time, welcome.